Yo, what up, people? Smiths to the motherfucking yo, Log Horizon, bro. Episode 3, motherfucking review. Yes. I know I didn't make any videos yesterday. Fuck that shit. I was tired of shit. Long ass day. Fuck it. We're back now. Let's make this. Let's roll over this shit. And first off, we got Log Horizon. And Log Horizon and SAO rivalry still is going on. And I gotta say this. I'm really enjoying Log Horizon so far. Like right now, in this episode we got a little bit of exploration, a little bit of information about the Griffins, a little bit of information about Shiro and his past, a little bit of information about Debauchery Tea Party. We got to see him go through this fucking underground cavern, and then they got to experience something that no other player has got to experience yet, and that is being the first adventurers and seeing sights that people haven't seen before. That and a mix of new breed monsters that are like called like Neo Cravers or some shit. What? Damn. Oh my. He's like, yeah. And so let's just get right into this, okay? Let's just get right into it. And so basically, they're continuing their adventure. And at first I was like, yo, what's the fuck's going on? Like, what happened to the Griffins? But they explained it later. Apparently you can only use the Griffins for like 4 hours, like a day or something like that, you know. And so it has a time limit on it. But the thing about it is that they were able to travel such a long distance that they'll be able to make it in like another day if they keep going their pace, like a day and a half, just because of like apparently they travel the equivalent of 2 weeks on a horse, and they travel to these mountains. In this mountain, in order to get through to the other side of it, you have to of course go through this like maze, this cavern, like legit, and it looks really nice, except it's old and decrepit, and apparently like coding happened, and so now it's like rust, you know, shit's falling down, and so it's really ancient now. And they're traveling through this, and they get introduced to like this low level like demi-human species of monster in this game, and it's like called like it's like a demi-human, and it's like a rat man, and it spreads like a plague, and the plague's like a debuff that you don't want to get, especially down here. And I'm thinking it might actually get you sick too. Like these debuffs like might actually be like agonizing. Like we haven't seen anybody get a debuff yet. Well, we have. Wait, no, we did see a debuff. We saw it later in the episode. Yeah, we did. And so debuffs seem to be somewhat agonizing or painful. Like they actually affect you, not just your character. It isn't just like a little thing on the screen. Well, it is, but at the same time, it's like you're actually going through the experiences from what I saw. And basically, these rats are gonna attack them unless they corner them. They end up walking towards like a giant group of them, and they're all on the walls and shit. And so they realize if they could either fight through them or they could take another way around. And they decide to take another way around because fighting all those would take too much time, and the risk of getting plagued would be very bad. And so they're going through, and basically they're walking over like this bridge because they gotta find a way to navigate the canals. And it's actually really interesting because during this time, like, they're taking a little break, and they're talking with that fucking house, and you know, that clan. I can't remember, the all-girl clan. I can't remember their name right now, but they're talking with them, and they're explaining their situation. They're like, how they get that far, and he's like, we're not gonna tell him. We're not gonna. Shiro doesn't want to tell him anything. So I'm wondering why. Maybe it's because it's like a secret thing, like. And we find out why, and that's because in this past, when he first started playing this game, he was started to be considered like a veteran, like a pro, and so people would always like thank him for his advice, but then they'd ask him continuously like, "Come on, go on this quest with me. I want you to help me get this item." Like, you know, he was being like somewhat taken advantage of because he was a pro. He couldn't really enjoy the game, and that's probably why he doesn't like to really give out advice anymore. Because when you give out like advice to people, like, it reminds of back the old days, of back when like everybody would always be on him. Like, yeah, it would be like thankful and you're helping people, but at the same time, it's like, yo, you want to play the game too, and you're just getting surrounded by people. And then this is also how we got introduced to Debauchery Tea Party. Basically, what really got me off though was the fact that they all had their faces. Why does that give me? Because I don't know if that was like supposed to be happening or whatever, but I mean, we saw their faces, and don't get me wrong, but I mean, this is like an MMORPG sort of game, and so the faces would all be different, and you know, like you wouldn't look like your original character. Like in episode 1, Not Natsugu. Yeah, I believe that's his name. Nile, fuck it, Nile. You know the motherfucker, the armor buff dude. Fuck it. He was in that flashback, and he looked exactly the same. But in episode 1, Shiro did say that, oh, so that's what you really look like. And it was like a flashback, sort of like, but it wasn't exactly a flashback. It was also like a dream world sort of situation. But everybody had their face, and so if they all look exactly like that, then that's gonna be like, so you're showing us all their face, but Shiro hasn't seen them himself yet. Like, that was kind of an iffy moment, but I'm gonna be like, fuck it, because it was informational, and it gave us something that we needed, which is basically like Shiro's drive of it being an adventurer, like exploring, exploring areas that nobody's ever seen before. That's basically how he got into it, because he just wanted to play the game and have fun. He didn't want to be tied with all these groups of people doing this, going for this one item. No, he just wants to go to random spots, and be like, yo, let's do this. Like, just run through it with your nice crew. Just random strangers that you don't really know. Yeah, why not? He was all into that. Basically, he falls into the river. That's what caused him to have this flashback. And Akatsuki goes after him, and then so does Natsutugu and or Nyotugu. Yeah, fuck it. And basically, he gets saved. Apparently, Akatsuki couldn't save him. Natsutugu had to, but he thanked them both. And so now they're like across the canal, this canal that they had to somewhat navigate. But it was like, okay, now they're continuing on, because that was an easy way for them. But Shiro mentioned something that was actually could be very important knowledge. Basically said he fell from that height. It like legit, he was falling down, and always falling down into his darkness, which means the fact is that there was so much space that he was falling down between the blue water and that light that was down there, that there was just a dark blanket. It was just dark. It was like a dark void down. So that had to be like maybe a good distance down that he fell. And basically, they navigated the river. But when he fell, he was like, wait a minute, I was barely even injured, and I don't really feel like any pain or anything. Which is surprising him. And then Natsutugu, he brings up like, well, you do have a level 90 body. And so that could come into like, that could be some top-notch information right there. What if like your level determines like how resilient you are and stuff? Like maybe Shiro doesn't realize it, but maybe he could take a lot more damage than he thinks he could. But he has a health bar, and he did get really fucked up by like a vine snare, like legit, like legit, you got fucked up by a vine snare. Oh my god, that's a Pokemon joke, by the way. Fuck it, I don't care. He got fucked up by a vine snare. But I don't know, because what if he can take more damage because of his level, and what if the levels because of this new update can go even higher? So we just see him like progressing in levels and like, being able to take more damage. Like, because level 90, if that was a cap, that would be like, because like everybody's like, Akatsuki's level 90, like Natsutugu's level 90, Shiro's level 90. Like a lot of people are level 90. Like even like that clan people, like the big people are level 90. So, but a lot of like the medium people are level 90 too. So it's like if the cap's too easy to reach, I wish that they extended it. Yeah, I hope that they do that. They extend the cap. That way he can get to higher levels. And I still haven't seen it yet. And this is when I get into like that fight. But I haven't seen it yet, but apparently I haven't seen any monster above level 90. Technically speaking, the highest we saw so far was 68. And with the 68 level monster, he was giant as shit. And he was like menacing, and he was one of the new type of breed monsters. And he was like a giant ass rat human. Like legit. And basically they're fighting him off, but Shiro's using this binding technique to do like 5,000 points of damage at each thorn that they cut. But what he does is like Natsutugu, he's like, or Nyotugu, he's like pushed into the fucking corner, and Shiro does like a debuff on him. This is where that whole thing about these debuffs might actually affect you, because he shot it at the monster, and the monster started like getting dizzy. It was like a mind shock. And basically it gave him like agility loss, and like, he would get disoriented. and he couldn't dodge as well. And Kazi finished him off, but he was actually feeling the effects of that spell, and so it leads me to believe that. And so they like beat this monster fairly easily, but coming to the level cap, I want to see monsters that are above their level. I definitely do, like, because I believe there is like a hell here, like yo, oh my god, there was a hell. Oh my god, there is a hell too. I believe. I believe that there is a hell, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see, because I want to see like level like hundreds and 200 monsters that they're fighting against at level 90, where it's like yo, like you got to pull out all your stops. You got to be like yo, I need the best items, I need the best equipment, this needs to be strategic help. So we're going against Satan, this giant ass demon, or some shit like that. We're going against this giant ass fucking tree, a fucking rock golem. Yo, I want to see something like that. I really do. And so they take it down. It was actually pretty, simple fight, but it was like still like pretty menacing because that motherfucker was big as shit. And then after it exploded, and then it like cut open this like crater, and then they walk out and they see this like beautiful landscape. And many people like throughout the game have been through this area. The only difference is that they see it for the first time using their eyes. Nobody else is really adventuring at this point, and so everything is sort of a new experience. And it's like a beautiful, like, just far as you could fucking see, just landscape and like sunrise and dawn. It's like it was a nice scene. And that's when the whole adventurer thing came into play, and how he used to be with debauchery Tea Party and that girl who just is constantly going through his mind. We'll see. We will see. So yeah, that was like the basic premise of Shiro. And then there's a little bit about this girl, and basically she's like leveling up all the time with her maid, like subclass, and she's cleaning up, and like she's like, "How is this happening?" Like a comedy bit, and she's like, "Oh my god, I'm a housewife," and she's doing like, yeah, just going across the fucking floor and shit with a fucking towel. She's doing all that, mad sweeping, like everything. The house is all shiny. And then in comes this dude, and apparently he's a cat. Like yeah, like legit a cat. And so I'm wondering if this is actual player or if this is a non-player. Because there are players and non-players in this sort of thing. Like, because apparently, like, later on, we find out the people are actually chasing after and looking for him. And it's like this giant-ass dude, like, fucking, like, yeah, it's fucking Wolverine. Like, yeah, he got that Wolverine weapon. Hell yeah, hell yeah. Oh yeah. There's actually legit, like, a weapon, like, with blades on it that you could put on your hand. Like, it was actually used in old times. He has one of those. I'm like, yes. Fucking claws. Yeah, they're called claws. Claws are the shit, man. Oh my god. I remember the old days of RuneScape. Just running up on a motherfucking noob. Fucking special. Oh, yeah. Yo, yeah. That was all a long time ago, though. Yo, a long time ago. I haven't played RuneScape in fucking years. Like, oh my. Like, 3. Oh my god. Fuck it. We're done with that. We're done with going off track. And so basically, this cat dude, I'm not sure if he's a player or not, but basically he's like saying like they're hiding out in like this abandoned building like overlooking the city, and the city's getting worse. And what I mean by the city's getting worse is basically some people are trying to escape the city, and they got like a carriage, and apparently this dude's tried before, and apparently they were hired by like non-player NPCs to help get them out of the city, because these bandit players are, there's a fucking clan, and they like ruin this fucking city. And I'm just waiting for that fight against this motherfucker. I can't wait. And they're looking for him, and basically they're cutting niggas down. And then there are these two girls, and I believe they were like, oh my god, these are the people that must have paid him. And I'm like, are these characters? And it's like, no, they're not players. They're non-player characters. And so apparently, like, they were taking a mission to try and get him out, and they wanted to get out too. So they thought they'd make a little money on the side. And so now I believe they're going to kill these like non-player characters or something like that. I'm not sure. Maybe you can't. I don't know. Maybe they're going to put them in the dungeon. I don't know. Again, I'm kind of wondering exactly where this anime is going, like how dark it's going to go. So but I'm thinking it might not be that dark. It won't be SAO dark. No, not like little girl stuck in a bird. Just it hasn't become that dark yet. I don't know. it's kind of like a weird situation where it could be dark, and it might be dark, but we haven't seen it just yet. We've like seen glimpses, and we can assume that these could be dark things, but we don't know. We basically niggas get cut down, they steal, they loot, they pillage. Then they're out looking for Mr. Cat, who we need to know if he's a player or not. Cause I mean, what is he, like an NPC that just walks around and like just helps people, like characters, like protect them from other, like, I don't know. It could be a high level player that, you know, like Shiro, has some old shit and just drink that, you know, transformation potion. Like, yeah, I'm a cat now. Like, legit, woo. Or the off chance that a cat could actually play in this game in Japan, and he's like, fuck it, I'm stuck in the game now. Let's do it. Let's rock it out. I can talk like a human now. Why not? Yo, I got a human body too. That's the shit, yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And so yeah, that's the basic. That's about everything that happened, except for one thing, which is about like all these small guilds are coming together. Yeah. All the small guilds are coming together, and they're like having like this like ceremonial like event or something. Like all the small clans for like a meeting to, you know, help make a somewhat society, like, you know, a stable government, if you will. Because there are players, and, you know, it's a system, and so it needs some order. It needs some order. It needs some law and order. Legit. And so, they got all these small clans, you know, they're all there. They're sitting around, and they're waiting for this last small clan who's organizing it, which is that one fucking guild. And basically, then, we skip over, and then there's this scene, and there's some, like, dude sitting on a fucking throne with, like, this girl. It looks like he's a player character. And he apparently knows Shiro. And this dude's like the king of this. I don't know. He could be the person behind it for all we know. He could, because it wasn't exactly stated what he was. He's just getting information from this girl. Like, she's like, all these small clans are making a get together. They're all gonna discuss shit. We should get on it. Like, oh yeah, and Shiro apparently just made it through the mountains. Like I'm thinking that this dude might be behind it. I don't know. He's on the throne. He's like a king of this world. He doesn't really have any subjects, so he's just like a lone dude. So it would make sense if he was like the game master. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see. And with the small clans, I might as well throw in that they're wondering what happened to that little. Shiro is wondering what happened to that little boy and that little girl. Like, they're actually wondering what's going on with that. Like, and that was like. It might come back to that scene, because there is this little boy and then there's this little girl, and they were being like roughed around by some ruffians. Like, yeah, come on, join our clan. And Shiro witnessed it, but he didn't pay attention to it. But now he's wondering what exactly happened to them, if they're okay or not. Like, again, we don't know how dark this shit is, and if it pulls a 180, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I don't know, because SAO kind of started really fucked up and just continued. And then it got like crazy. But Log Horizon, I'm not sure if it's fucked up or not. It hasn't done enough things. It just seems, I don't know, like, it just doesn't seem like it's like one of those gonna be like mind fuckers. Like, oh my god, this is a horrible place. All this shit's happening. This game master's evil. He's like tricking us. Like, yeah, like rape. Like, yeah, like. Just saying, I'm not seeing it yet in Log Horizon, but it does have a lot more episodes, and so we'll have to see how it progresses. Either way, I'm loving this shit, and I'll give this episode right here. Yeah, a 9.1 out of 10. Yeah. I'll give it that great. Yeah, because it was good, and it was great. Yeah, that makes sense. It was good and it was great. I mean, we got a good amount of information that we needed. And overall, the fighting was pretty tactical, and I'm digging the tactical fighting. Because Shiro, he apparently he's rocking debuffs now. And it was like a cool, like, black orb, and I was like, yo, bro, if you shoot this, you're gonna be the shit. And no, apparently, it just moved all slow and shit. But I'm waiting to see what this thing can do. If he does some crazy shit, I want to see it. We'll have to see. So with that being said, Smith to motherfucking R. Peace the fuck out.